It's all about flow and pace today, qualifying in Qatar. A high-speed test that will set the grid for tomorrow's race. So welcome along.
Hello and welcome back to some more F1 25 and another part of our Toyota My Team career mode. Today we are back with the Qatar Grand Prix. We've got qualifying and the race coming up today. Enjoyed it last time out, but I do think we lacked a little bit of straight line speed in the race, so I am going to just add a little bit more or take a little bit of rear wing off to just try and give us a little bit more straight line speed. We might regret that through the high speed corners, but I'm hoping that we can hopefully counteract that with some good front wing downforce. And, well, you know, what's the worst that can happen if we need to take off a little bit of front wing because we've got an unstable rear? That's fine. Yeah, I think it will come in handy, particularly on that very long straight. We were struggling to keep up with the guys in front, even with DRS, so that's really important. But what is most important is that we have a good qualifying session today, so let's see how we get on. Here we come then, up to the line at the end of Q1, and that's or our Q1 lap, and that puts us P8 for now. Not our best time that we could have put in. We were putting in 121s in SQ1 yesterday. So yeah, interesting, isn't it? You know, we're not quite hitting our mark consistently enough, but I think that should be enough to get through to Q2, and we certainly need to save soft tyres for the rest of qualifying. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hope that we get through into Q2. It might well be that the track has ramped up a great deal, but doesn't look like that's happened. We are through to Q2, and we are quicker than our teammate Franco Colapinto. Felt like a very, very good lap as we come up towards the line. It is in the 21s this time. A 121.5, still a second off Max Verstappen somehow. I mean, that is incredible from Max. You know, we are absolutely at the limit. I mean, that felt like a very smooth lap. There might be another couple of tenths in it somewhere, but I'm not sure you can. You know, we're trying an experimental line through there to see if in Q3 maybe we can find some more, but it's just so easy to extend track limits or exceed track limits here. George Russell right up there as well, but you can see those two are in a different postcode to the rest of us. It's quite insane actually, but that should be enough to get through to Q3. We'll watch those times as they come in. Is Colapinto going to get himself into the top 10? Doesn't look like it, so yeah, he's only P13. A big shock, really. Didn't improve too much on his Q1 time. But we're through in Q3, into Q3, in P3, and hopefully we can qualify that high up the grid. That would be absolutely amazing. But it does seem like Verstappen and Russell are going to be too quick to stop. Here we come then. This is on some scrub tyres, but only a 21.9. That only puts us P9 for now. Well, definitely some time can be made, but that's on scrub tyres, so plenty more to come, you would feel, on the brand new set of boots. But let's have a little look at timings. I think most people have, progressed into the 1 minute 20s now. I mean, Russell, a 1 minute 20.1. That is just insane. I mean, yeah, we're a long way down in all sectors, really. Particularly that final sector, though, a 24.2 in that final sector. It would be good to know where we're losing that time, because, you know, if we can find 3 or 4 tenths there, that is going to make a big difference to our overall lap time. But you know, I think if we pulled everything off, we might be able to qualify 5th. I might be able to just dip into the 120s, but I really think the top 4 are out of sight, which it makes sense. You know, they are the fastest cars on the grid, the Mercedes and the Red Bulls, so it does make a lot of sense. But we're going to go out there. We're going to leave it to the very last minute. And you guys are going to join me on this hot lap to see if we can take any more time out of it. So here we go then. This is it. Our shot at pole position, I guess, but, you know, realistically, we're not going to make up 1.8 seconds. But yeah, it's this final sector where we are losing our time. And a significant amount of time at that. So, going to set up our lap. Always go wider into the final corner to give you a longer amount of time on the straight. Might just increase our straight line speed a touch, and we come into turn one. That's a nice turn one. Hit the apex well. Nice and safe through the first few corners. About a tenth up at the moment. Little lift there, and that looks pretty good. I mean, that's a decent first sector. Oh, just lost a little bit of time there. A little bit of wheel spin where it wasn't wanted. I'm just waiting to get onto the power there. Yeah, this isn't a great lap, to be honest with you. There's more time on the table, but we're already 3.5 tenths up from what we did last time, and we're pretty much matching whoever's in P6. We're going to try and hold it down through these. Oh wow, we nearly lost the time there, but now into the final corner. Get on the power and head up to the line. This is a pretty decent lap. It's a 1:21.2. It's only going to be enough for 8th place, but yeah, couldn't have found much more. As I say, I think if we maximised that, we'd have probably finished P5. But yeah, yeah, I don't think we could have got much more out of that. We outqualified Oscar Piastri. That's a good time. We got pretty close to Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, but yeah, George Russell, Max Verstappen out of sight in that one. But yeah, you know, we had that corner. We had a little bit of wheel spin, probably cost us a couple of tenths in the end. And then, you know, I'm sure I could have found another tenth somewhere, but overall, you know, I'm pretty happy with that lap, and we're still a second off pole position. So let's see how we get on in the race. I think we should do a lot better. We should at least finish in the points, but you never know what can happen here in Qatar.
Welcome back to Qatar and the Lusail International Circuit, a track that has a long history for two-wheeled motorsport action. But tonight it's the four wheels of F1 that are back, and Lewis Hamilton going for another win here. So we're back here in Lusail, and this is the track map. 3.34 miles, 16 turns, and just one DRS zone out of turn 16. It's already a fast and flowing track after all. There's a good overtaking opportunity with DRS, though, through the long straight and into turn 1. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Antonelli, Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Verstappen, O'Sullivan, Piastri, Fernando Alonso and Franco Colapinto, Norris, Doohan, Liam Lawson and Stroll, Bortoletto, Behrman, Nico Hülkenberg and Isaac Hadjar, Gasly, Sainz, Ocon and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. And let's talk momentum with this driver. What a sprint it was, They start at 0 once again for today, but with a huge amount of confidence, surely. Well, they'll definitely be glad that there's not a sprint race today. Let's face it, the sprint couldn't have gone much worse, but what we're looking for today is a reaction. So we come to Qatar this weekend, and what's the word I'm looking for when I think about the middle part of this track? Relentless.
The whole track's relentless. It's predominantly built to be a motorbike circuit. For an F1 car, that means a lot of G-force. It's hot here, it's humid this time of the year that we come to in Formula One, and this puts pressure on the drivers. It also puts pressure on the car and the demands of the tyres. So it's a brutal circuit.
It's great that we've still got these glitches in the F1 game, isn't it?
Let's get another points finish.
Right, let's have a look then. We have obviously moved up a position ahead of Lando Norris. Max Verstappen is the guy right in front of us. I do think we need to try and undercut guys today. Now, a two-stop strategy is doable. You know, if we come in lap 7 on the softs and 10 laps on the mediums, and I think fresh tyres could be king today. So I'm going to take a bit of a risk. It does say it's a slower strategy, because of course it would be with the extra time through the pits, but I think our pace will be so relentless and actually will be in so much free air and out of those DRS trains that I think this could work today. So we're going to take that risk. We're going to start on the soft tyres. We're going to commit to the two-stop strategy, and we'll see how it goes. They are slight scrub tyres, but they've only had one qualifying lap on them, so that's not too bad at all. We did 10 laps on these soft tyres yesterday in the sprint, so yeah, you know, a really good opportunity, I think, to try something a little bit different. I think that's the only way that we're going to have a sort of positive gain of position today. I think a one-stopper, we're sort of consigning ourselves to probably dropping behind Piastri and fighting with Alonso all race. But I do think that our pace will be strong enough in free air that we will be able to make up the time that we will lose in the pits. We are going to let Max Verstappen back through.
No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being.
Well, the top 6 or top 5 will probably be unhappy that we had to slow down to let Max through, because they're now going to have to hold up a little bit, or they're going to have to wait on the grid a little bit longer. So there's an interesting one. Desperately trying to get these tyres in check. Obviously started much lower in the sprint, and yeah, looking forward to seeing how we get on here. Going to slip it into hot lap mode. We have been doing that the last few Grand Prix in terms of how we start. Obviously, we very much want to head right up to that wall, give us the inside line into turn 1. It's kind of the opposite today.
Okay, good parking there, mate. Now we need to make sure we get a great launch as the race starts.
But we should be faster at the start on these soft tyres.
As soon as the grid is formed, be ready with the clutch.
So here we go then. We are ready for the lights. 5 red lights. Lights out, away we go here in Qatar for the Qatar Grand Prix. Great start on these soft tyres, exactly what we expected. We're going to get a little bit boxed in by Yuki Tsunoda into turn 1, but we have made it up into P4 at the start of this race. Managed to get a great jump off the line ahead of Max Verstappen, ahead of Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton is doing a good job as well, and he's following Yuki Tsunoda through this first sector. Tsunoda was quite slow in the sprint yesterday, So I would suspect that we possibly will have a chance at passing these guys at some point over the next couple of laps. We'll have to do it while our soft tyres are fairly fresh. But this is good for us. This is going to slow down the guys behind in sort of 5th and 6th. I'm not really expecting that we can get on the podium today, but if we can stay with Lewis Hamilton and sort of be in this DRS train for the opening phase of the race, that is really going to help our race time. So definitely something that we have to try and achieve here. Oh, a little bit wide there. I was desperately trying to avoid any sort of track extensions, but once we were committed there, we had to stay with the throttle on to make sure that we are following Hamilton through, or closely enough through this first straight. Now, of course, DRS is going to be available this lap. We're leaving some racing room for Kimi Antonelli, but we do manage to stay in front. So it's working out quite well at the moment. Little kiss of the inside curb there as we now head on to lap 2 of this race. And it is, well, race crucial that we stay within a second of Lewis Hamilton. That is absolutely crucial for our race now, that we stay within DRS. Because otherwise, the 2 cars behind us at least are going to pass us on that start-finish straight. We are not as quick in a straight line. And presumably Max Verstappen has got a fairly new engine or engine component in the car after his engine failure in the sprint yesterday. So let's see if we can keep pushing. A little bit of dirty air there from Lewis Hamilton. Oh no, that's not good. We do not want to have to pick up time penalties around here, but we're on our last warning now. Luckily yesterday in the sprint we only got 1 warning. I think it was on the first lap. We're going to have DRS here. But Antonelli is already quicker than us in a straight line. Lewis Hamilton is battling now with Yuki Tsunoda. Round the outside of turn 1 he goes. That's going to turn into the inside of turn 2, and Hamilton and Tsunoda still side by side here. This is crazy, but it looks like Hamilton's made it, although Tsunoda is still committed to the inside here. Who's going to blink first? It looks like it's going to be Tsunoda. You'd probably expect that against a 7-time world champion. Lewis Hamilton has been in pretty great form this season. We've got yellow flags out there. Now that could well bring out a safety car. Hopefully not a red flag. Somebody is out of the race. I don't know who it's going to be. I'll check that in a minute. Pierre Gasly is out. So that's one of our competitors, to be fair. One of the guys that we usually are fighting with at the sort of outskirts of the top 10. So that helps our race as well. But you can visibly see how much slower we are in this sector compared to the other guys. We're going to have DRS again here on Yuki Tsunoda. A little bit of overtake out of that corner. DRS is active, but Antonelli is going to be there again. We're going to leave him racing room into turn 1. He's going to try it down the inside, but a little bit like Hamilton did last lap, we're going to try and hold it around the outside, but that Mercedes is just so quick around the corners, and well, he is through. So Antonelli through up into 4th place. That probably helps us out a little bit because he's going to catch Tsunoda a lot quicker than we would have. And I would imagine they are going to battle a little bit like Hamilton and Tsunoda did. That's going to keep us in the DRS probably for another lap or so. But yeah, it's been a good start. 4 laps into this race. Here comes Max Verstappen. Unfortunately, a couple of mistakes in the final sector meant that we lost ground to the guys in front, and there goes Charles Leclerc as well. So down to P7. This is where we started, of course, and it's kind of what we expected to happen because we just don't have the pace of these leading teams. But we were you know, battling with them for a couple of laps. No doubt that will have helped our race time. We probably will come in next lap then to get that extra undercut and extra clear air. I think already, you know, there's going to be a decent amount of field spread, particularly towards the back. Somebody else is out. I think that's going to be one of the RB cars. Is it going to be Lawson or is it going to be Hadjat? I don't think anybody's out. I think it was just a spin. It was Oscar Piastri, I think. Or is it Norris? I think it's Norris, actually. But yeah, we held them off very nicely there. A little bit of DRS from Leclerc in front. And we are coming in this lap, so definitely worth just sort of backing off a little bit here. Going to go into medium. Just try and save up a little bit of ERS because we're not going to get the use of the DRS this lap, so there's no point trying to overdrive the car and stay within a second of Leclerc, even though, you know, we're managing it. We're not going to get the effects of the DRS, so there's no need to worry on that front. But yeah, get a nice little bit of charge here. Put it into none so that it's fully recharging.
Box now, please. Box this lap.
And here we come then for our first pit stop. The question is, where's the pit lane? Here it is. And we're in a little bit slow into the pit lane, but yeah, I'd rather do that than get the 10-second penalty. You know, always stupid to do that, isn't it? So, in we come. Away, good pit stop there.
Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
And there is Isaac Hadjar. So I was right. It was one of the RB cars that looked like they were
one stop left.
Retiring. But yeah, onto the medium tyres now, and let's get these warmed up, and hopefully this is our time to shine now. Look at this. This is a great chance on Isaac Hadjar, and we're actually going to go down the inside into the final corner there. I have no idea. Yeah, we will get DRS.
Okay, you're creating some breathing space between you and the car.
That is that's pretty fantastic, and yeah, pace looks pretty good out there, so we're going to keep pushing. We know that the tyres of the leaders are going to be going off around about now. We're not in any sort of DRS train, which is good. We just got clean air to fight our own race. Well, we went down the inside of Isaac Hadjar on the last lap. This time we take his teammate Liam Lawson. Very, very good. Up to 18th position now. Some people starting to come into the pit lane. We're doing pretty well here, just sort of minding our own business, not losing any time whatsoever in traffic battling, which I think is crucial. Pretty good chance on Esteban Ocon here. Gonna have to make sure we get past him quite quickly because he is very much holding us up now. And this is exactly what I wanted to avoid. And there we go, we find somewhere to do it. It's a good move. There's a little bit of overtake to get away.
Great part.
Well, we go down the inside of Gabriel Bortoleto and manage to make it stick. That will work out quite nicely for us. Again, a little bit like the Ocon situation, just needed to sort of improvise an overtake and manoeuvre. But yeah, up to P14 at the moment. But, you know, we're taking seconds and seconds out of some of the drivers. These guys haven't pitted yet, of course, so this is where our true advantage is going to show, hopefully. So this will be interesting because Franco Colapinto is into the pits this lap.
We're approaching the pit
And that, I think, is Max Verstappen. So, you know, we're coming out ahead of Max Verstappen here. And okay, we've got another pit stop to come, but yeah, I think we're on track here to have a very, very strong result. We're just going to have to decide when to come into the pit lane.
The car ahead of you's just fitted the hard tyres. Car ahead now on the hard compound.
These guys have come in now, so their hard tyres are brand new. Let's see if we're able to compete on these older medium tyres. It certainly looks like we are at the minute. So we've got more cars coming in this lap. Norris was somebody that we were battling with as we came into the pit lane. So let's see how much time we've made up on him. Decent amount. There goes Max Verstappen. He is through back up into third place, but you know, didn't come across that easy that he passed us. Now, of course, when we come into the pit lane, we are going to come back out in 13th. So it's all going to be about sort of fighting back. We're going to have some brand new hard tyres that we're able to push to the limits, and I think some of these guys are really going to struggle come the end of the Grand Prix on their tyres. So I think we're in a decent position here. Well, these tyres are not awful. We could probably keep them going another few laps, but you know, we'd have to keep them going at least another 6 laps if we were to swap onto the soft tyres, and that gives us less time to make the comeback, because okay, we might not get back up to the podium spot, which we're not expecting to anyway, but we want to get back into the points. So let's see what we can do here. A little lock up into the final corner as we were trying to adjust the settings a little bit there, and we are in. That was a much better entrance into the pit lane, and you can see that front left is pretty much dead. But let's have another good pit stop here, boys.
We had an issue attaching the front right wheel. I know it's not
It's
ideal,
okay.
but let's try and put that
Just
behind us and get
1.7
back
seconds
into this race.
lost, really. Still should come out ahead of Lance Stroll.
Pit strategy complete.
That
See
is
these tyres
pretty
through to the
decent,
end
I
now.
think. Because now we are out there on brand new tyres. Everybody else is on tyres that have done 3 or 4 laps. So certainly by the end of the race, I feel like we're going to see some good advantage there. No, I don't think we would add the pace to
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button
compete
a bit
with
more.
some of those other guys normally. Well, here we go then. This is going to be a great chance on Fernando Alonso. There are a few people pitting. The Williams have come in for their second pit stop, and that's a good move on Fernando Alonso. So we are now officially back into the top 10. And a couple of laps ago, we were 12 seconds behind our teammate Colapinto. We've still got 10 laps to go here. I think it's going to be pretty close, but I hope that we can catch him and hopefully pass him by the end of the Grand Prix. I think that would be a successful race. Well, the gap is now 5 seconds between our teammates and ourselves. This is going to be a battle up to the wire, I think. So let's see how we get on. We are pulling out about 1.3 seconds a lap at the moment on him and Lewis Hamilton. Let's see if we can keep doing that. Okay, time check, 3.5 seconds. Another 1.5 seconds taken out of him that lap. We are flying here. Okay, 5 laps to go. 1.9 seconds is the gap. We are still pulling out about a second and a half on Franco every lap. We should be past him in the next lap or so, and then we set our sights on 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. Damn it! 3-second time penalty.
Time penalty for that last incident, mate.
Well, that's probably dashed our hopes of getting any further up than Colapinto, but we will try our absolute best here. It was always going to come. That's why I didn't want to get those warnings so early on, but it was just a little slip of the car, little snap of oversteer, and we were through. I mean, it could benefit us because now we can be a little bit more aggressive in this last sector in particular, because we've got another 2 warnings unlocked, so it might be a benefit to us in the long run, but we will see. But we're right behind Franco now. This could be us getting past him, and then we've got 3 seconds to make up on Lewis Hamilton. So here we go. Chance on Franco into the first corner. He does go a little bit defensive, but we are through, and that is a big move. So up to P9, and I think we should be able to make up 3 seconds in the next 4 laps on Franco Colapinto. Hopefully Lewis Hamilton as well. But yeah, it should be at least 9th on the road for us today, which
so
I think is pretty good.
2.9 seconds.
I don't think we would have finished there if we hadn't have gone for the 2-stop strategy, so this is a positive result. So time check then, 1.6 seconds is the gap to ourselves and Colapinto. Hamilton and Piastri battling it out in front as well, so this could work in our favour, but we've got to make 3 seconds on those guys in front if we are to finish any higher up.
Okay,
we got yellow flags. I think that could be Franco Colapinto. It is Franco Colapinto. He is out. Well, what a shame. What a shame that is. Look at this. We've got a chance on Oscar Piastri now.
Franco's just dropped out of the race.
If we can get past him, we might be able to make 3 seconds up in the next lap. And there we go to the outside, and that is a lovely move around the outside, and we are through. So 2 laps to go. Can we make 3 seconds on Oscar Piastri? We're probably not going to manage it on Lewis, but we're going to need to get past Lewis to get that 3 seconds, I think.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please.
Just a little snap of oversteer is going to be the difference between us finishing in P9 and P8. Last lap of this Grand Prix then. Let's see if we can finish ahead of Oscar Piastri. We have pulled out 2 seconds pretty much on our first lap ahead of him.
You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap.
I don't think we're going to reach Lewis Hamilton, but yeah, 3 seconds behind now. This is looking pretty good. He has dropped well back here, and it's George Russell that has won the Qatar Grand Prix. He has been in awesome form. Of course, he's leaving Mercedes at the end of the season and joining our project. So it'll be very good to have a driver in great form. But yes, it looks like we have pulled out that 3 second gap to Oscar Piastri. And I feel like we were never quite going to reach Lewis Hamilton anyway on this evidence. Might have needed a couple more laps. But it's going to be a really hard fought 8th place over the line. And here we come then. a great performance on the two-stop strategy there. We finish in P8, and we can be very, very happy with that.
We've seen a brilliant display of the Russell hustle. It's George Russell who wins.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
It's what they've all been racing towards, waiting for them. High above the pit lane is our podium. And for the lucky three...
Well, 1-2 for Mercedes as well. So, you know, Kimi Antonelli, great pace. And Max Verstappen there in P3. So, I mean, imagine if Mercedes got their act together earlier in the season. Could have maybe had a titanic championship battle. But not to be. And well, Mercedes just looking to build up some momentum ahead of next year. Kimi Antonelli probably going to be the man leading that team next year. Who's going to join him? Well, we'll probably find that out in tomorrow's, or the next episode, I should say.
Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
But yeah, I mean, a really fabulous race. I don't think the second pit stop really affected us at all. You know, 20 seconds through the pit lane. Maybe we could have been competing with those guys, but I just don't think our pace would have been the same. You know, if you have a little look at our lap times throughout the Grand Prix, they'll be super consistent, and that is what ultimately led us to being able to pull it off in the end. You know, we had some great laps. You know, continuously getting quicker most of the time, and yeah, really consistent Grand Prix. Really happy with that, and you know, I think the two-stop strategy certainly worked. We made it work. Could have maybe got Lewis Hamilton had we not had the penalty, but we got ahead of Oscar Piastri. That was a massive one, and ahead of Fernando Alonso as well. Shame for Franco Colapinto that he wasn't able to finish. A mechanical failure for him as well as Pierre Gasly. But yeah, I mean, you look at some of these stop times, some really slow times out there. Our second pit stop did cost us about 1.7 seconds. I guess that also impacted our chances ahead of Lewis Hamilton there. But overall, very happy with that. We are very much in 8th position, but Antonelli could well take that by the end of the season after his second place finish there. A very strong end of the season for Mercedes, who won't quite reach Ferrari, but you know, they've very much secured 4th in the championship now. But if you look at the race, I mean, you know, Antonelli finishing 5 seconds ahead of Verstappen, who was 17.6 seconds behind George Russell. That is huge. Max Verstappen was absolutely dominant at the start of the season. That's not really been the case over the last few races, but good to see that they are getting some competition. A little bit of damage to the car, but overall things looking pretty good. And we will continue on to the season finale, which will be in the next episode. Of course, we've got the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, our last race with Franco Colapinto and Zach O'Sullivan as our drivers, before we move on to the exciting appointment of Nico Hülkenberg and George Russell next season.
Head to engineering for more info.
Yeah. We'll have a quick look at the components for Colapinto. It looks like they've worked out what happened. It mustn't have been one of the engine parts, so that's interesting. Yeah, so they've managed to fix it and put it back into the pool. But yeah, I mean, you can see how how many laps have been on some of these engine components. It is crazy. But we should be in a good position for the next episode at least. And very excited for that. So if you have enjoyed this episode, then give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more F1 content. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.